Good morning. My name is Jason Allen. I'm a realtor and real estate planner based in Palm Springs, California. And today is my Monday market update moment. And I'm focused valley-wide today. And I do that because there are 5 Mondays in the month of October. Um, the first four, I focus each week on a different city that I tend to specialize in. That would be Palm Springs, Cathedral City, Palm Desert, and Rancho Mirage. You can find those updates in my YouTube channel. Meanwhile, I'm going to just talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the market. And the numbers bear this out. Really a peculiar market, in as much as we have fewer buyers in the market, but we also have not a lot of inventory. We don't have a lot of buyers because interest rates are higher. And typically, the people that are trying to buy a house as a second home purchase, or maybe their second in a consecutive series of homes, they're selling a primary home and coming here, they tend to have market money in the stock market, and the stock market is not doing well. The rest of the economy is amazing. We have jobs galore. We have factories opening. We have big business making tons of money. But on a day-to-day basis, people feel like the impact of inflation coming down hasn't really shown up for them. And they're paying more for their mortgage. All of those things are creating a downward pressure on sellers. But that's very much based on the market. And by that, I mean the location. So throughout the country, we have some markets that are doing phenomenally well. And then we have others that are kind of bouncing along, which is what we're doing in the Coachella Valley. I want to add one more thing. We're probably going to see interest rates at this level through 2025. Why do I say that? Well, the Federal Reserve does not feel like inflation is under control yet. And the current administration is in office until December of 24. In the event a new president, House, and Senate is elected, we may see a desire on the part of a new administration to adjust interest rates so that people feel better and can buy houses. The current administration, at least by then, if they're reelected and the House and Senate do whatever they do, odds are good that our economy will be in a different place, inflation will be under control, and there will be a general consensus that we can lower interest rates. Now, I'm not prognosticating per se. If I were a fortune teller, I would probably be doing something else, as much as I like real estate. But it seems likely, based on what we're hearing from government offices and institutional lenders. All right, with that in mind, I'm going to share my screen as I like to do. So these are valley-wide numbers, and I start with single-family dwellings. You'll see here, pardon me, and what we're talking about valley-wide is everything from Desert Hot Springs all the way down to the Salton Sea. So we have a variety of price points in this sample here. What we can see is that unit sales overall is down 17.7%. Median sales price up 1.9%. So that is for single family home, the median. Median is right in the middle. Half of the homes sold above that, half of the homes sold below that. General inventory is down 8.4%. That, in combination with some other things, is what's keeping prices buoyed. They're not tanking like they did in 08, 09, 10. And I don't see that as happening, frankly. But we'll talk more about that. Days on market, 57. So that's consistent. People are just not out in the marketplace as often. So we're seeing that at 21.3% higher than September of 2022. Sales are, this sales to list price is when someone lists their house, they're getting 97.1%. That's up slightly from last year. Sales to original price at 95.4%. That's they've taken one or more price reduction. But even so, someone who's taken a price reduction and another price reduction and another price reduction, you're still getting 95.4%. Now, these are averages, of course. Sales above list price, 34.6. While down from September of 22, that is still a big number, valley-wide. So what's happening is some people are recognizing the inherent value in a property and they're jumping on it. there's some competition. They're either giving them the asking price or above the asking price. And that, by the way, is why these are somewhat buoyed, this 97.1 and 95.4. Month supply of inventory is up. I'm going to show you another chart that's going to speak to this. At 3.31 month supply, that's not a lot. We consider 6 months a balanced market. Median sales price down 1%. At this point, that's lunch. So not significant. Sold within 30 days, 36% of the homes sold within 30 days, 66% sold within 60 days, and 82% sold within 90 days. And these are cumulative. Let me jump over to condos very quickly. Unit sales 100. So valley-wide 100 units. Median sales price down 2.1%, insignificant. Inventory is up 20%, so that's good for buyers. Days on market, 50 days, up 25%. You're going to be on market a little bit longer. Sales to list price, 97.5, down 1% from September of 22. Sales to original list price, 95.9%, down less than 1% from last year, last September. Sales above list price, at or above list price, 33.0%. That's down 25.9%. So we're seeing fewer condos going at or above listing price, but you're still talking about a third of the market. So it's important to understand when you're coming here to buy a condo, don't have in your mind that you're just going to take the list price and cut 10, 15, 20, 30% off. We're not in 09, 10, or 11. We're just not. And what'll happen is that seller will simply reject your offer unless they're crazy desperate, but the numbers don't suggest that they should do that. And part of that is because we have the very low supply. Now, this is up 71.2% over September of 2022, but at less than 3 months supply, that's not a lot of homes to sell. Median sales price, $333 a square foot, and that is down 3.8%. 43% of the homes sold within 30 days, 70% sold within 60 days, 83% sold within 90 days. I'm going to mention it here, and it applies for single-family dwellings as well. The difference, the 17% difference here, those are homes that are pushing up, or I should say, impacting this number, because presumably if they're on the market longer, they're ultimately going to take a price reduction because they're just waiting for the right buyer to come along. And, a unicorn might be out there. That's true. But more likely than not, the house is either going to come off the market as expired, canceled, hold, before someone is willing to overpay for a property. The market is very clear. There are buyers out there. If your home is not selling, it means it is not priced right. You have control over that. The condition is not right. You have control over that. Or the location is not right. You do not have control over that. Let me jump over to trend graphics. So when I have to do a whole valley-wide report, the folks over at Chicago Tile can't provide me with that report conveniently. So I go over to trend graphics. Now, I want you to look at this report or this chart. This has 4 things in it: for sale, sold, pending, and new listing. So when we look at these, the for sale and the sold seem disproportionate. That's okay. You're always going to have more inventory than, more likely than not, you're going to have more inventory than houses that are sold. That's just common. Okay. What I want you to focus on is the red line, because that's pending sales. So a pending sale is that it is in contract and it is scheduled to close, and the new listings. So what's happening here is that while over the last previous quarter, we saw pending sales go down, sellers responded by not bringing homes on the market. And now pendings are going up. So sellers are responding by putting more houses on the market. I imagine that in October and November, you're going to see this dark green line as sold tick much higher, right? It's going to get to at least the red line, unless some things have not closed yet. They've got longer escrows, but we're from a seller's perspective, we're headed in the right direction. From a buyer's perspective, what you can take away from this is that there are people out there, don't goof around when you find the condo or the house that you really like and you want to buy. There's just no reason to. If it's got the good condition, it's got the great location, the price is right based on comparables, and you can afford it, grab it. I'm going to scroll down a little bit because I just want to close it out with these last two charts. This is comparing current month versus previous month. And here you see the actual numbers. Stolds went down. We see that up here, but we see pending up almost 20%. That is significant. And yet, new listings only up 16%. So there's still a demand that's outpacing the inventory. That's what's keeping our prices relatively stable. Current month versus 13 months ago versus current month. I'm going to pause here, let you look at that. And then let me jump down, or you can always pause your camera or you can always pause YouTube to look more closely at these numbers. I just want to go down to current versus previous month. So this is the trend that we're seeing. We're seeing 0.4% new listings come to the market, not a whole lot. We have the total volume of for sale has gone up almost 20%. Sold has gone down 17.1%, but we can see that here. It hasn't quite sold yet, hasn't closed, but our pendings are at 21.6, which is the same consideration, roughly 12%. And this is the percent change of month over month versus what we did the previous month. So these two charts are the same, just showing it a little bit differently. That's all I have for now. So as always, you're welcome to go to my website, getme2ps.com. And there you can find the booking tab and book time with me so we can discuss your specific circumstances. If you have a home to sell or you're thinking about, or simply want to know what the market would bear for it, I'm happy to do that analysis for you. And alternately, if you're looking to move here, I'm happy to have that conversation. One thing that folks forget is that I'm not a transaction-oriented person. Meaning, yes, I'm in the business of helping people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. But for many people, their purchase is going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years off. It's best to have conversations at the early stages so that A, we know it's realistic, and B, we know what to watch for as your timeline progresses. You may have an inheritance, you may get a bonus, you may lose your job. All of those things are going to impact what it is you want to do and can do with your purchase side. That's all. Have a great day and have a great week. Bye-bye.